The mirror held secrets that Daniel Morgan had carried for 23 years, secrets that whispered in the quiet moments between heartbeats, in the space between who he was and who he dreamed of being. The afternoon light filtered through his apartment window like honey, casting shadows that danced across the small pile of fabric on his bed, a blue dress, soft as morning mist, waiting. His hands trembled as he touched the silk. Not from fear, but from something deeper, something that hummed in his bones like a forgotten song finding its way back to his lips. The dress had belonged to his sister Stephanie before she moved to California, left behind in a box of memories that somehow found its way to Daniel's closet. "Just try it," he whispered to himself, the words floating in the golden air. Just once. The fabric slipped over his skin like water, cool and gentle, transforming him in ways he couldn't name but desperately needed. In the mirror, someone new looked back. Not quite Daniel, not quite a stranger, but something beautiful and terrifying in between. The knock at the door came like thunder in his dream. "Danny? You home?" Ben's voice carried through the thin walls of the apartment they'd shared for 2 years as roommates, as best friends, as something more complicated that neither had words for yet. Daniel froze, his reflection frozen with him. Ben was supposed to be at work until 6. Ben was supposed to be anywhere but here, seeing him like this, beautiful and vulnerable and completely exposed. The door opened. They'd stopped locking it months ago, comfortable in their shared space, their shared silences, their shared glances that lasted too long. Ben stepped inside and stopped breathing. Time stretched like taffy between them, sweet and sticky and impossible to break. Daniel's heart hammered against his ribs, the blue dress suddenly feeling like armor and nakedness all at once. Ben's eyes were wide, not with shock or disgust, but with something softer, something that made Daniel's knees weak. Daniel started, then stopped. Words felt too small for this moment. Ben closed the door behind him, the soft click echoing in the quiet room. He took a step forward, then another, moving like he was walking through water, through dreams, through all the unspoken things that had lived between them. "You look very pretty." Ben's voice cracked, reformed itself. "You look beautiful." The words hit Daniel like a physical thing, warm and electric. He felt tears he didn't know he was holding slip down his cheeks, salt and relief and terror all mixed together. "I've been hiding this for so long," Daniel whispered, his voice barely there, a ghost of sound. "I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know how to tell anyone." Ben reached out, his fingers brushing away Daniel's tears with the gentleness of someone handling butterfly wings. "You don't have to hide anymore. Not from me." The kiss came naturally, inevitable as sunrise, as breathing, as all the moments they'd almost touched but pulled away. Ben's lips were soft against Daniel's, tasting of coffee and promises and all the words they'd never said. Daniel melted into him, the dress rustling like whispered secrets, like prayers answered in the quiet of their shared space. "I love you." Ben breathed against Daniel's ear, the words warm and real and more beautiful than any dress could ever make him feel. "I love all of you. Every part." They spent the evening curled together on Daniel's bed, talking in whispers and touches about dreams and fears and the strange magic of being seen for the first time. Ben traced patterns on Daniel's arm through the silk, each touch writing new stories on his skin. "I was scared," Daniel admitted as the sun painted the walls gold and pink. "Scared you'd think I was wrong or broken, or—" "You're not broken," Ben said, his voice steady and sure. "You're just you. And I've been falling in love with you for months without even knowing it." But love, Daniel learned, didn't make the world softer. The next week brought whispers at work, sideways glances from neighbors who'd seen them together, holding hands, sharing the quiet intimacy of people who'd found their missing pieces. Daniel's boss called him into the office on a Thursday morning, her smile tight and professional. "We've had some complaints," she said, not meeting his eyes, "about your lifestyle choices." "I'm sorry, Daniel, but we're going to have to let you go." The words hit him like ice water, shocking and cruel. He cleaned out his desk in silence, Ben's texts burning unanswered in his pocket because he couldn't find words for the shame that crawled up his throat like smoke. That night, Daniel sat in their apartment, still wearing the blue dress because taking it off felt like surrender, felt like letting the world win. Ben found him there, small and broken. "We'll figure it out," Ben said, pulling Daniel close, holding him like he was precious, like he was worth fighting for. "We'll find somewhere that sees you the way I see you. What if we can't?" Daniel whispered into Ben's shoulder, breathing in the familiar smell of his cologne, his comfort. "Then we'll make our own somewhere," Ben replied, his voice steady as stone, as love, as all the tomorrows they'd build together. Daniel pulled back to look at him, seeing the determination in Ben's eyes, the fierce protectiveness that made his heart swell and break and heal all at once. "You'd do that? For me?" Ben's smile was soft and sure and full of forever. "I'd do anything for you. We're going to be okay, Danny. We're going to be more than okay." And in that moment, wrapped in blue silk in Ben's arms and the promise of a future they'd write together, Daniel believed him. The mirror across the room reflected them both. Two men holding each other like the world depended on it, like love was the only truth that mattered. Maybe it was. Outside, the city hummed its evening song, full of possibility and second chances and all the beautiful, complicated ways people found each other in the dark. Daniel closed his eyes and listened to Ben's heartbeat, steady and strong and real as the silk against his skin, as the love that filled the spaces between their breaths. Tomorrow would come with its own challenges, its own fears and victories and brave moments of being seen. But tonight, in the honey-colored light of their shared space, Daniel Morgan was exactly who he was meant to be, loved exactly as he was, whole and beautiful and finally free.